Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. For once, I am wide awake, or somewhat, ready to roll. If you watched the last video in the series, just a quick recap, I've finally been able to make my new exploration ship out here in Hrober, so I can get the frick out and start looking around a little bit. Um, just a quick recap. I'm doing a series again where I am only using wormholes, not using um, Eve gates, which has made it more interesting. Well, not more interesting, but has challenged me more, and I've actually learned a lot more doing it this way. I like to do these little challenges for myself, and this is kind of fun. That said, if you are interested in seeing how that's going, I think this is episode like number 9, 8, or 9, or 10, or something like that. I'll have a playlist listed at the end of this, or you can just search it on episode, I think in episode 0. I did a prologue or something like that when I birthed Mr. William Pilgrim here. So, alpha character, first probe, was able to fit it out with pieces of my heron that I had. Um, let's get this sucker repaired because there were some of the I had picked up the parts whenever it got blown up. Repair all. There we go. But some of them were hurt. The relic analyzer was hurt there, so it's fixed. Woohoo! Really, really, really basic fit on this probe. Um, got my core probe launcher with some probes in it. They're not loaded in, but they're in the inventory. Relic data analyzer, micro warp drive. I always go for the micro warp drive for if I'm doing sites because it gets me to the spots faster. Missing one slot here. I want to get my cargo scanner back. Then I've got nanofiber internal structure here, internal inertial stabilizers, just so I can turn and move quicker if I need to get away fast. No cloak because I am an alpha. Got an overdrive injector here because that's what I had on hand. I'm sure that would go away, but you never know. I'm sure there's no modules, so or rigs. So what does that mean? What is my next goal? To get blueprints so I can fill out the rest of this ship and build stuff here. I've made this my home system, so whenever I do die, it'll pop me back here. So what I need to do is get the ability to make these exploration ships so that I can use my wormholes more often and never run into the issue that I just ran into. I am only carrying one set of scanner probes with this ship. Reason being that I only have two sets of scanner probes, and God forbid I lose this ship and before I'm able to get some blueprints. I will always say you should carry two sets of probes with you, um, especially if you're in wormhole space, because if you lose those probes, if you lose connection, you could lose those, you could be stuck and have to blow up your ship to get home. Unfortunately, I'm going to only go with one until I get those set up. So my next couple of days will be me looking in scouting new systems and trying to scavenge stuff that might be able to help. I can get some skill points here. I can use the sites that I scanned down to build the rigs and maybe build some cargo scanners. After that, keep growing. If I find a better home than Hrober, I will move there. If not, I will keep working out in Hrober. I like it. So that will be my base of operations for now. Talking fast. I don't know why. I'm going to keep talking. One thing I wanted to do, I have a couple things I want to do in this video. The first one is really quick. So my other main character is an Amar character who flies a Magnate. I've noticed major differences, especially in slots, in regards to the Heron and the Magnate. Now this is my first probe that I'm doing with a Minmatar. I think I flew some back when I used to play. But what I thought I would do is pull up the schematics or the how different the two ships are. I'm not going to go super in depth. I'd like to do that later on. But in general, when you're looking for exploration ships, I'll compare these two. Maybe down the road I'll compare the other four. I'm sure other people have done better videos than I will do, but this is how I want to show you how I do what I do. Why am I talking? It's the coffee. I've only had half a cup of coffee today. Maybe I'm just so jazzed to not be working. It's a freaking beautiful day out, so I am going to play here and then go out. Oh, I know what it is. The other one is um, you got a day left, if I'm not mistaken. I have a guilty pleasure of the Total War series, old school strategy games. And Steam has it on sale right now for like 75% off. I got Rome Total War. It's like a 10-year-old game. And I also got Total War 3 Kingdoms. I am not shilling this. I'm not selling this. I just freaking love these games. It is my game that I will be playing for years now. I waited for so long for them to go on sale. So if you want it, go for it. Back to the game. Why am I talking so fast? Okay. Cool. So, let's pull up the heron. Now, the heron here, let's see here. Where is it? There it is. I'm sorry. We're looking for. Wait a second. That's my Corvette. That's it. Okay. I'm looking for. Not the breacher. Vigil. Burst. The probe. Okay, so we're going to show info on the probe. What I want to do is just do a quick comparison of this versus the last ship that I flew, the Heron. Here we go. Or the last exploration ship. I'm going to hold down the shift button to open up a separate window. If I just hit info on this, it will open up the same window, so I have to bounce back and forth. I could also use the compare tool, but when I'm only comparing two things, I kind of like to look at the pretty stuff that's there. So, hold down the shift key, hit that. That gives me a second window. I go ahead and close this. Come over here. So, probe versus heron. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but very, very similar regular skills, just to be Caldari or Minmatar. I'm both now skilled in Minmatar and Caldari. Caldari up to level 4, Minmatar level 3, almost to level 4. Woohoo! Day left. So I'll be able to fly both of these at max alpha skills. Description, I'm sure, is very similar. Not going to bother with it too much. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'll get into the lore later on when I do a more in-depth video. Or just look at it. So, these are your stats. Now, in reality, just jumping out there and exploring, I don't think these matter too much. When you get more in depth, I think it would. These are very quick ships, mostly used to scan things down. You've got some differences here in hit points. You've got a little bit of a capacitor capacity, maximum targeting ranges. I guess this could be a little bit more helpful when you're trying to reach out there and scan that box that's for you. Scan resolution. Actually, signature radius could be helpful. What we got here? So, the larger your signature radius, the easier it is for other people to scan you down. So, the probe here is a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit harder for somebody to combat scan you down. And got some max speeds, a little bit faster for the probe, blah, blah, blah. So this is the most important part for me, is your fitting. When you're just getting a generic scanner ship. And the one thing I really liked about the Heron was the fact that it had 5 medium slots. The Magnate only has 3, which is really hindering when we're trying to use it to scan and just be more of a all-around. But in my mind, it's a better all-around ship. The probe has 4, so it's kind of your in-between. So you've got the full tilt magnate versus the full tilt heron. My mind is the probe is halfway in between, and then the Galante one probably is somewhere in between too. I bet you it has more drones because they're Galante. Um, but the big thing here is the medium slots, and I'll just show you. I don't have it fully outfitted, nor do I have a simulated one. That would be smart. But having the 4 slots here, it allows you to both have a data, a relic, your propulsion, which you're going to need if you're trying to scan these sites down or do the sites. And then here, it would allow you a 4th slot that you could either do a cargo scanner or you could do something to help with your scanning. Now the Heron would allow you 5, so you could do both of those. The Magnate wouldn't allow you to use the 5th one, or actually only has 3, so you wouldn't even have the extra slot. So the probe is a nice little in-between there. That was just what I wanted to point out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, since the probe gives up a medium slot, it gains a lower slot. Am I right here? So we're going to go low power. Yeah. So the Heron doesn't have a lower slot. So you can't add in those extra bonuses. I think the Magnate has 4. So you can make it more, add in the low slot stuff. Things that you can put in there. Damage protection for armor. You can put in your more inertial stabilizers and nanofiber blah blah blahs to make you turn faster to get you away from people. Bunch of stuff that you could throw in there. So it limits your scanning a little bit, but allows you to be more free. That said, like I said, I'm not going to dive real deep into it. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of what I wanted to show. Last video, I should pull it up here, but I'm not going to. One of the commentators, if I was a full YouTube guy, I would be able to say, "Thank you so much, Bob, for telling me this." But he pointed out to me while I was in Jeddah, and I was complaining about my ship not aligning very quickly, to make undock safe spots. So my second thing I wanted to talk about today is undock safe spots, because I haven't done any here. And if this is going to be my home station, I should have an undock safe spot. So the idea behind that is every time you leave your station, you can you're going to come out in the exact same direction every single time. When you're moving in that direction, what you want to do is create a save spot that is directly out from that direction, so you don't have to turn and then warp. You're basically your velocity is always already going forward. So all you have to do is hit warp to your save spot, and that way, if anybody's waiting outside to shoot you, you're almost an insta warp, ready to roll. So I'm going to do that right now. Now there is one guy in system. Hopefully he's not sitting outside waiting for me. He wasn't earlier, probably in one of the other stations. And that will reason why I know that, because I'll show you here in a second. I did scan down some stuff I want to show you once we get out. But let's go create a safe spot. I'm in a quick ship right now. I have my micro warp drive here, so I can multiply my speed by 5. So the idea for me is to undock and then micro warp drive to at least 150 kilometers, maybe farther than that, so that it creates that safe spot. Let's get going, and then I keep talking, because I always like to talk. Undock. Then once I create the safe spot, I'll warp back and show you an explanation of that. Don't do this with an afterburner. It will take you forever. Okay, so we got that up. We got nobody around me. Good. Now, I don't want to move at all. I want to keep this straight on. Just going to hit the micro warp drive. We're already at 500 meters per second. And boom, speeding up. Now what I'm looking for here is my kilometers away from the station. We are zooming away right now. Now it is a little bit off there. That's interesting. So I didn't move. So maybe whenever you disembark, it always puts you in a little bit of an angle, but still, we're just doing this as an example. We're at 75, moving up to 85. Let's do a directional scan. Hotkey V. Don't see anybody around. Maybe they're cloaked up, wanting to kill me. Don't care. I can make another heron. More where that came from. But I only got 8 more scanner probes. Astero rolling in. Okay, so he disembarked. Let's see what he's doing there. Why did you submit? Let's watch what's going on here. So I got my safe spot there. What you doing there, Mr. Astero? Are you Mr. Flanker VRN? Flying around? I'm not warping back to the station yet. That's interesting. He warped away. Okay. So we're going to go back and dock at the station. I wanted to do that save spot a little bit farther. Now, notice how that save spot got saved down here. I love having my saved locations box on my main screen. It just makes it quicker to get to things. I'm going to edit this location and just put there undock. There is another one that you can do called an Insta Doc. That is where you can warp directly to the station and dock instantly. Looks like Mr. Flanker VRN left system, so I feel even more comfortable. Okay, so we're docked up now. Now what I'm going to do is just show you. I did do that site just a little bit fast. I don't like it to be exactly 150. Not sure how far I waited. But if you come out and you wait too long to jump and you're under that 150, you can't warp. So, but we'll see where I put it. I can't remember where I did. I got distracted by Mr. Astero there. So all I'm going to do here, and as I leave station, I undock, let's warp to it. See how I almost instantaneously warped out to my safe spot? It's 170. I will fix that later on. I wouldn't mind it being like 250 or 1,000. That way, if I get distracted, you jump out and there's 5 guys wanting to kill you. You're like, oh! You don't have that like 20-kilometer thing, that gap there. But got a save spot now. So if that helps you, if that keeps you from dying one time, then I did my job here. I'm sure there's other videos out there that are much more in depth that go into it. Today I am here to have fun. I teach all week at my job, coach and help people. So I'm not doing that today. I'm going to play some. Did save some time. I didn't want you guys to be bored with watching me scan down things. So what I thought I would do is show you what I've scanned down, and I'll figure out what I want to go to. I always put my probe scanner sites in alphabetical order here, just to give you an idea what I got. So what I like to do, and I could make this a little bit better, I like to have, it's interesting. So I have an old monitor, a really old monitor that I use, but it's big. Maybe it's time for me to get a new monitor. I'm just looking at my setup here. So I'm not able to make it. If I use my laptop, I have a little bit better view that I'm looking at you. But I like to have the big screen. But I might get a new monitor here sooner or later. Maybe, remember, I think it was the last video before, I was talking about wanting to get a new computer. Maybe I'll start pricing that out. Won't do it anytime soon. I have a tough time when something still works getting it. Okay, sorry. So I scanned down these anomalies earlier. I like to put them in alphabetical order. My setup normally is so that I can probe here, look at the anomalies, keep an eye on local. If local is up and running and there's people here, do some I do have local on, right? Okay, that made me stupid. I like to keep my directional scanner up over here so I can directionally scan, see if anybody's trying to um, scan me down. I have their general basic setup for my overview. Haven't updated that yet. It will be down the road. The one thing I always throw in here is velocity. It's a good thing for me to keep an eye on if I'm fighting things in general. Um, I always keep my saved spots over here, and I will usually close this up just a little bit, and that's basically how I do it. I will change this up here. A lot of times I'll remove a lot of this stuff off of here. Um, we can get rid of our capsular day stuff. I don't like a messy screen, but I usually like to have a lot of stuff up. The last thing that I like to do is pull up my journal. You've seen me do this before if you watch my previous videos. My notepad here. I like to put this over on the side if I'm scanning. It's only if I'm scanning. I will put some notes in here. Before I had made some notes of some systems. I have actually not done it for Ober yet, so I'll actually be doing that later on today. I like to keep an eye out for what types of systems are here. The other thing that I like to do is have a SIGs notepad. So I'm going to create a new notepad and do SIGs. This tells me active signatures that are in my current system that I'm living in. So whenever if I were to get log off and then log back on, I would have a list of ones I've already scanned down and save that time. Hence why I put them in alphabetical order here, because I can go through and do them. Now, I'm not going to do the sites that I didn't have to scan down. Those are obviously already there. But I can do JKX, and then KYD. And normally, if I hadn't already scanned these down, I would just write all these in first and then update them. So OJD, there's a wormhole there, RFQ, and WBG is a combat site. Is there anything else here? Oh, and another wormhole, ZSG, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I want to see what's out there. ZSG. Okay. So running through it, right now I've got 2 data sites. I got nobody in system, so if I want to go look at those boxes, I can. I've got my data analyzer down here. Second thing I've got are 2 wormholes. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to say JKX is a data. KYD is a gas site. Gas. Just putting, and then OJD is a data. And then RFQ is a wormhole. We don't know what type of wormhole yet. And WBG is a combat. And a ZSG is a wormhole. Now, next thing I always like to do, if I see a relic site, boom, I'm on it right away because I can get some ISK off of that, or at least some good salvage. Never know what data sites, now these are 2 event data sites, so they could be something worthwhile. So I'm probably going to scan those down. But if there is no relic site, then I'll check to see what the wormholes are. Long-term future plans, I don't really see me getting into gas sites, but maybe. I don't have a use for them right now, especially low-sec ones. I'm not a miner, but you never know if I need something quick. I haven't used gas before. Combat sites, long-term, I would like to start doing videos on scanning down combat sites and doing them and having fun with that. My ultimate plan is to do them without, if you want to, you can pull up the combat site and then you can find out what the combat site is. Go on YouTube or go on Google and do a search on it. You'll find out exactly how to run that combat site. I don't want to look that up. I want to do some videos doing this where I have to scout them and go in and take a chance. Um, and usually I die doing that, but I think it'll be fun. And then take notes of it here and learn from it. Because why read up? It's like the old, if you're my age, buying the old cheat books whenever you were playing a video game back in the day. I only bought cheat books after I'd finished a game or got 100% stuck. You never get stuck in Eve, so why look it up? As you can tell, I'm not a power gamer, so that's there. So, but right now, I have nowhere near the skills or the power to be able to take out a combat site 99% of the time. So I'm not going to mess with it, but down the road, I want to start building ships and get blown up in them. So the next thing after I do relic sites is I always check out to see what these wormholes are. Wormhole number 1, I'm going to warp to at 100 kilometers. I got an itch on my nose. I apologize for that. Because if somebody comes through that wormhole and I'm sitting on the wormhole checking it out, they can blow me up. So I like to at least warp 100 kilometers away. I still notice nobody's in local. And we're going to show the info here. So this wormhole is beginning to decay, so it just started. Wormhole is not. Larger ships can go through it. Good. Goes to unknown parts of space. So RFQ is a wormhole that goes to a wormhole. That's how I notate it. So if I lose my connection, I can come right back and pull that up, and I know exactly what it is. I don't need to scan it down. That might be something I want to do later on today. That's cool. Oh, let's go check out the other one. Sorry about that. So we're going to warp to this one, 100 away. Now, the first goal of mine is if I see that it goes to a low sec or a null sec system, or even a high sec system, I'm going to jump through it and see what's there. Because I need to take every chance to try to get more blueprints to bring in here so I can build my own stuff. Okay, show info. Unknown parts of space, so it's another wormhole. That's cool. Not dangerous, so it's a 1 through 3, if I remember correctly. Not a dangerous unknown parts of space. Beginning of decay has not. Medium ships are allowed to go through here, so not too bad. So at this point, I would work back to my save spot because I'm going to talk. Maybe I need to shave. Maybe that's what's happening here. So my next goal, if I wasn't videotaping, I would jump through one of these wormholes and just go check out that wormhole. But since I've got a little bit going, videotaping, well, we're at 28 minutes. So what I'm going to end up doing is probably ending the video now. I'm going to go and see what these two event sites have going on. And then I'm going to go get some sun. Dude, it is beautiful out today. So that's what I'm going to do now. It is so nice to finally have a scanning ship. Why? Because a lot of times I was booting up the game and there were other guys out of the system, so I couldn't do much because I was limiting myself to the system I'm in. Now, if people are here, I can just go out and scan and do that. So it opens up my gameplay a little bit more. Other than that, that's about all I got. If you guys have any ideas, any thoughts, anything you'd like me to do or try out, please let me know. Maybe next video I'll try to work on doing the doc save spot, show you how to do that. If not, just look it up. Oh, I don't know what you would do to undock save spots in Google or YouTube or something. You can look that up. All right. Other than that, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however you want. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you soon. Alrighty. Have a good one.